Hello, and welcome to Spirit Among Us. We all want to understand our purpose in life. We want to know what the future will hold. And through our faith in Jesus Christ, we can have and understand both of these things. This is mainly through reading the Bible and also walking through our lives with God, trusting and putting our faith in Him. One place where Jesus has given us this information about this can be found in Matthew chapter 25. In this chapter, he gives us 3 parables about his second coming and what the kingdom of heaven will be like. The parable I want to look at this week is the parable of the talents. He explains it like this. Matthew chapter 25 verses 14 and 15. For it, the kingdom of heaven, will be like a man going on a journey, who called his servants together and entrusted to them his property. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each according to his ability. Then he went away. So in this parable, in this story that Jesus is describing, he himself is the master. And those of us who follow him, who have put our trust in him, who he has called out of darkness into his light, are his servants. When Jesus came down, he originally came down to be a sacrifice for our sin. But now that has been accomplished. He rose from the grave, conquered death. He spent more time with the disciples, giving them more instruction, teaching them more things, and then he ascended to heaven. And that's when his journey began, and he's been up there ever since. So let's apply this parable to our own lives and see how we fit in. He, Jesus, has entrusted us with his property, namely the gospel and our spiritual gifts. These are things that God has given us to use in our lives, things he's entrusted us with, and we have a choice. So let's look at how the servants responded when given the property of their master. Matthew chapter 25 verses 16 through 18. The man who had received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 bags more. So also the one with 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who had received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. 2 out of the 3 servants in this story used the property given to them to benefit their master. They used what he had given them, what he had entrusted them with, to turn around and serve him. On the other hand, the 3rd servant took the money and buried it. He hid it away, and he did nothing with it. So now let's apply this back to our own lives. God doesn't want us to be like the 3rd servant. He has given us the gospel, and he's given us the lives we have, the circumstances we have, the people around us in our lives, so that we can be his light here on earth. He has entrusted us with this time. He has given us this time, and he wants us to use it. He wants us to use what he has entrusted us with to serve him and to share his love with this world. When we use what's been given to us, it will multiply, just like in the parable. It will bring him glory, and it will bring us true joy. But if we don't do anything with it, if we're like the 3rd servant that takes it and buries it in the ground, if we don't use the gospel and share it with others, if we don't shine God's light while we have the chance, it is useless. So I want you to ask yourself today, what has God entrusted you with? Have you been using the opportunities he gives you to share the gospel? Or have you hidden away this gift and calling? Confess any area in your heart today where you haven't been using what God has given you well, and commit to serving him until he returns. Thank you for watching, and God bless.